Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 9 of the Lands of Alaire. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. We just had an awesome claustrophobic boat battle, and now you guys are right at the tip of making your way to your destination of the capital of River's End. The captain just announced that it was off in the distance, and the forested rocky landscape opens, revealing a large valley through which the local rivers converge, with farms on either side, and then empty into the vast ocean beyond. On the far side of the valley, a hill aglow with torches, one side facing Sarangar, and the other towards the open waters. Its base is covered in hovels and huts, winding muddy streets and smoking chimneys. The colors of dirt and dead grass, a stark contrast to the wild green nature of Sarangar's countryside. The highest point of the hill is a ring of longhouses and manors, shops, and the livings of nobility. The captain opens sails, and with a cool, salty breeze you are brought west, out of the valley and into the ocean, and then veer north towards the docks of River's End, which are filled with a menagerie of boats and workers of all types, men carrying barrels and crates. Scoot us on over to River's End. This is generally, you probably zoom out a bit, but generally the scene around you.
That's very cool.
The cries of seagulls and the ringing of bells, the smell of salty air and manure mixes together. A true city, and the first one you've seen in some time. Captain Grimnor leaves you as swiftly as he arrived. Without even tying down his boat, his crew sets planks and nearly push you off onto the docks. He gives a final wave with his hat, and a best of luck to you fellows! Keep your wits about you in this rot! And then sets off to sea once more. The whole party converges. Ulrich and Arena, Zorn, Bilberry, Olerin, Gentel, all you guys, as well as Merrick Orland, who shuffles off along with you but makes his way further into the urban area, into the slums. And Bilberry looks up at you guys as you're in the middle of this crowd on the dock and goes, So, I guess we better set to work, huh?
Yes, I suppose so.
We need to warn the Jarl about the wine as soon as we can.
And that is my mission. I'll see if I can find that elf. We should meet up. There's a nice tavern. It's called the Morning Sun Smile. Should be on the south side of the hill. It's a little south of the market. You guys ever seen the market?
Can't say I have.
It's the Hillside Market. It's a real nice place. I think that should be your first stop, honestly. You might find something useful for prepping up before we get into anything too serious. And then Gentel looks about the group and goes, Yes, I don't intend to stay here for too long. I think I'll make my way into the countryside and do some scouting about the farms. And report back at that tavern when I get the chance.
All right. Suppose no time to waste. What time of the day is it?
It is now towards the afternoon, midday. A little bit later, maybe. Zorn and Olerin look towards Bilberry, look towards the group, and go, We're heading to the tavern. You can meet us there if you need us. And Arena says, better keep an eye on them. Continues along with them. And so it seems that the party just kind of splits about in all different directions.
Suppose it's off to the market. That sounds good.
Sure.
I follow Gilroy's lead, mainly because I don't think I've ever been in a city this big.
No, it's a little overwhelming,
Yeah.
Erwan. There's a lot going on here.
High walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good palisade on the non-ocean side of the hill that wraps around like a horseshoe. Otherwise, the docks and whatnot are not protected by a wall per se.
Yeah.
But the natural location on this hill has always proved a defensive boon for these guys in times of war, so it works out pretty well.
Right.
Stick with me, Harlan. You'll be alright. And Gilroy unleashes Silas. He's gonna let him float around freely.
So as you guys set into the urban landscape, making your way through the winding, muddy roads and small alleyways, you're pushing through a crowd of people of all types. half-orcs, elves, dwarves, halflings, even the occasional dragonborn or tiefling can be seen. Though their destitute existence is a really common factor between them, the majority of these people, very poor, ended up here and had no way to leave. So Silas is honestly not too strange a sight in this urban area. They've seen weirder, at least. So he doesn't draw too much attention as he floats right above the crowd, above your head, Gilroy.
Yeah, and I'll take a deep breath. Civilization.
Yeah, it does not actually smell that good, but...
The potential here. Look about. It's everywhere.
I look at the
Man.
hungry faces and stuff, and I'm just like, mainly with the abundance of the land and everything from the wilds, how are the people hungry and just dirty?
It's just how it is some places. You can help them best you can if you wanted, but you can't make decisions for them.
That is fair. Each person's path is their own.
Maylee's pretty well traveled. She doesn't
Yes.
feel like she's home or in civilization, but none of it phases her at
No,
all.
exactly.
So
You've seen it
it's-
before.
yeah.
Yeah. And with that, you guys empty out into the hillside market, as it is known. We're kind of here. I'll scoot us on over towards where the party is, right next to the gallows.
What a warm welcome.
Yes. Not empty gallows. There's no execution active today. And so finally, yeah, the winding streets open to reveal a bustling open market with a few interesting-looking stalls. Particularly, there's a young red-haired half-elf next to you who seems to be dressed in smithing clothes, but does not have any anvil or forge next to him. What is before him looks a lot more like potions. There's also, across the way, a middle-aged half-orc with a surprisingly full head of brown hair. His cart is filled with all sorts of delicious-smelling breads and meats. And then through the crowd, you can see two more stalls that kind of catch your eye as far as useful stuff for adventurers. Also notably, right in front of you is a group of, no doubt, Farinwellian soldiers who are marching through this now occupied land and trying to keep the peace here. And the captain, a bald, large, rather gruff-looking man, marches up alongside you and goes, "Make way!"
Are they kind of like... I mean, I suppose... I mean, are they heading, like, right towards us?
No, it doesn't look like you're their target.
Right.
It's just that you're in their way.
I guess...
Step aside.
Yeah, Leander steps aside, lets him move through.
Yeah, they continue along that way. One of the soldiers definitely gives you a glance, Leander. Not exactly like a threatening glance, but a
I don't think... I think Leander's pretty calloused to stuff like that,
Yeah.
honestly.
And they make their way, far up the streets from the direction that you guys had come.
Right.
Hey, that half-elf... It's kind of like you, Erlon. Right, to some degree? I mean,
A little
auburn
bit, yeah,
hair?
red hair, and though notably not quite as bare-chested or tattooed. But yeah, no, there's a funny similarity there. That they're both half-elves, so they both have the same color hair.
Who is that? One of the...
That would be Marvin the Smith, who is
Oh,
that
okay.
dude immediately to your left.
Okay.
I mean, I'll make my way over there if you guys want to.
Yeah,
Just check
okay.
out
Sure, he's calling out to you at
Yeah.
this point anyway. Not like he goes, "Adventurers!" Calls towards you. He goes, "Marvin the Smith," with a bow. He goes, "It's a stupid name. I don't forge anything. I sell oils."
Oils. Huh? You mean natural remedies?
No, those never work. No, it's like you put them on your weapon.
Oh.
Fire oils and cold oils, lightning oils. I've got all sorts. Got a deal on the lightning oils.
Well,
I don't know if I need.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, great. How interesting.
Tell me more about the lightning oils. I want to know what all the buzz is about.
Eh.
Oh, jeez.
Funny guy. He takes his sword out and runs a wettened rag along it. He dumps a bluish vial in this rag, leaving behind what looks like a bluish kind of gelatin that he rubs in, and then sheens his sword through it, and it begins sparking with lightning. And he takes it and slams it down on a barrel, and you can see the lightning transfer from the sword into it and leave a good many burn marks around it, streaking through the wood in the snaking pattern. He goes, "It's impressive stuff."
Very impressive.
And so, mechanically, lightning oil adds 1d8 lightning damage to attacks for 1 minute, and it's 100 gold pieces of a tincture.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take one of those.
Sure.
Just especially because of the demonstration.
Yeah, he was very pleased to hand you over a vial of it, and he goes, "It'll serve you well." I also got fire, acid, and cold, but a little more pricey than the lightning.
Alright, I'm a little intrigued.
Okay.
Just in the sense of, like, how do you imbue this?
Well, there's a few different things you can use, but it's a lot more on the natural side of things than you might expect. Around here, you can probably find some of those herbs that have a lot of the similar effect to the fire oils. You might have seen them before. You just kind of create that oil, you wring it out on something, and it bursts into flames. It's the same general idea, except I boil them down, and a few of the ingredients are a little more exotic. The cold comes from the far, far north. There's a tree up there whose bark secretes an oil. And then there's one of these is from Zyada, and he pulls out another one of the fire oils, a very similar looking vial. But, so you got a few different options, it seems.
Most interesting. Alright. Thank you.
Keep an eye out. If you ever make your way across a few different kingdoms, you can definitely find some useful stuff, though. I do prefer the refined version myself.
I can see that. Alright.
And, you guys wrapped up shopping at Marvin the Smith's?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Leander's probably getting hungry, so.
Yeah. Yes, and the smell of delicious smelling breads and dried meats wafts over to you from that stall across the way. And a fellow half-orc is there, dressed very much so in butcher's clothes and looking a bit messy from it. But he gives you a smile and a slow wave.
You just stare at him.
Well, I move up.
Okay.
Yeah. Hail!
Alton Dole. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Leander Wren.
You looking for some meats?
I suppose so.
Here's the good stuff. Just got it from out of town. And what you have before you, there's some River's End dried lamb, Sarangar venison, Ellenveer bread, and Venra wine. The lamb and venison give you temporary HP for eating them. The lamb gives you 1d10 for an hour, and the venison gives you 2d8 for an hour. The Ellenveer bread allows you to regain 1 second-level spell slot and 2 first-level spell slots. And the Venra wine increases charisma by +2 and reduces wisdom by -2 for 1 hour.
Dang. That's really awesome,
Yeah.
actually.
Like that.
How much is the bread?
75.
And does it keep well?
Yes. Very dry.
Quite the salesman. All right. I'll take 3 loaves.
All right. And he bundles it on up for you. A slow thinking man, but quick with his hands as he gets it wrapped up very nice and tightly for you.
How much for the wine?
It's pretty special. It's 100 gold. I only got 2. Holds up 2.
I see that. I'll take 2 of that elven bread and 1 of that wine.
Good day for me.
When he hands out the wine, I ask him, "Oh, is this wine fresh? Did you get it recently?"
It is. Got it from Venra. Venra wine. It's made from grapes, I think.
Very knowledgeable of your craft. Yes. Yes.
Well,
it is.
some of it's imported. You can't blame me.
Yeah, you do very well for yourself, my friend.
Thank you.
I think Leander's kind of walking off.
You see Melee's watching from a distance.
Seems like a nice fellow.
Seems like it.
You want anything, big guy?
I haven't had venison from my country in a while, so I'll take some of that.
Here you go. It's it's 40 gold for one of those. And
Alright.
yeah, it adds 2d8 temporary HP for 1 hour, and it is dried and stored in such a way that it will not go bad.
Anything else in this marketplace?
There is 2 more stalls to the south, though through the crowd, you haven't really gotten a particularly good look at them. Far to the, we'll call it the southwest, down that way. Seems to be a dwarf, an older dwarf with a long, dark brown beard that nearly dips into the mud, but is completely cleanly chopped off right at that point. And he very carefully keeps it swinging above the mud, but never dipping in. And he has a few displays of weaponry and armor that looks to be of pretty damn good quality, but it's not like, you know, he set this up for the day.
Mhm.
He might be gone from the market tomorrow. And then on the southeast, we'll say, you see a strange hobbled creature with a warty kind of yellowish face and a scar down one of his eyes. And he is running about a crowd of nobility and yelling out in a shrill voice, "Potions! Potions and tinctures! Save yourself or your loved ones when the time comes."
Okay. I will approach this strange man.
Okay?
I'll go with him.
Alright. Haley and Gilroy, you guys make your way past a few workers who are bustling about and seemingly busy with just passing the time. You make your way on up. This adventurer here shakes his head and walks away from the stall the moment that he gets a good look at the person who owns it, who's a hobgoblin, funnily enough, the first of his kind that you've seen here. Seems to be accepted and rather tame, all in all, though a bit frantic. And he looks up at you with one good big eye and the other one a bit shut from his scar. He goes, "Frick frack the goblin! What you need?"
Greetings, what? And I looked at Melee. See the potential in everyone around?
If you want to recruit him, go ahead.
I don't know that I'm there yet, but, well met, friend. Don't see many like you.
No. Frick frack. He did good. Learned how to make things.
And what are you making?
Why, good potions. Good for drinking. Look. And he starts grabbing a few from his display, popping them all out. He goes, this one, ice giant strength. This one, ogre toughness. And he has potion of ice giant strength, strength to 25 for 10 minutes, potion of ogre's toughness, constitution to 19 for 10 minutes, potion of spider climb, potion of winds, which gives you feather fall, and a potion or a few potions of cure serious wounds.
Ooh. How much is the potion of winds?
300. Powerful magics.
Come on, friend.
Throw your persuasion.
Okay. Persuasion. 7. Actually, I have a +2, so.
Frick frack need gold.
I'll buy it for him.
Oh, very good. Yes, a potion of winds. 300.
Thank you, Melee.
Anything else that you guys would like from there?
The cure serious wound, how much is that?
Those are 400. They are very powerful healing potions as far as that's concerned. One of those. All right. Frick Frack happily hands it over with a wide, toothy grin. And
Now, Frick Frack,
yes.
have you seen any, well, what's the talk of the town?
Yeah. Jarl's not be seen in weeks. He go off somewhere quiet, they say. No one allowed to see him. No talk.
Is that right?
They're scared.
Yeah, that's a bit concerning. Alright, well, if you hear anything...
Oh, you want more?
I will pitch him 20 gold.
Okay.
If
He catches it and he goes, Frick Frack hears a lot.
I thought you might.
Frick Frack, he's heard something of the court. A new member comes to town. The fat man doesn't like it.
The fat man?
The fat man. While that conversation is happening, what would Erlon and Leander, you meet up after wrapping up your rations that you've freshly gotten, and you guys want to head on down south there and see what's up?
Yeah, I'll go draw a door.
Okay. So you guys make your way past the crowd, past these nobility, and a few town guard who eye you for just half a second, but you are no stranger than anyone else who is really making their way through here. What you come up upon is Draldor Hammersmite, which is a byproduct of playing too much Warhammer. An older dwarf. And his stall has a gleaming display of a few various weapons and armor, and he has a +1 Carrad Morn battle axe, which once per day add 1d12 bonus cold damage to a successful hit. He has a +1 Dagger of Tyr, which holds 2 charges of Cure Wounds as a 2nd level spell, and restores all charges every other full moon. He has a Longsword of the Desert, which grants you resistance to fire damage. +1 Dark Leather, which gets you proficiency or expertise if you already have proficiency in stealth. And +1 Robes of Escape, which gain proficiency or expertise if you already have proficiency in acrobatics. All of his stuff is magical, at least +1. Anything gets in your eye?
I see something for a friend, but not for myself, unfortunately.
What'll that be?
What would my friend like?
Yeah.
Probably something sneaky. She's quite a good shot, and I think she'd be able to make great use of that armor.
Ah, the dark leather.
Mm-hmm.
Probably my best piece here, honestly.
It is very nice.
Goes for 2,000.
I look it over, and I look at the stitching and everything. I'm like, yes, that's fair.
All right. You got 2,000 on you?
Oh, I'm not buying it. It looks very nice.
God.
I was admiring its craftsmanship.
No, that could have
No, we don't buy anything.
My cousin, he told me. Folks walk in, they look. They always just look. He sits down on his stool.
I should have glance at Erlon and look down at my armor and look back. How much for that dagger?
700. Forged in Envier.
Wow, that is really interesting.
Isn't it?
Perhaps we'll be back.
I'll be here for a while. Don't you worry. Make yourself some coin, boys, and get on back to me.
I have a question for you, good sir.
What's that?
I have no, etiquette, when it comes to stuff like this. So I go, do you happen to know anybody that might have magical arrows around here?
Now, if the stores on the ring top were open, then you'd probably be able to find that kind of goods, but more than likely you'll have to get lucky down in the market these days. A lot of the nobility left.
Why is that?
True sorry.
That's unfortunate.
Seems like lords and ladies are dropping like flies these days, and well, that means there's not too many lords and ladies to run the nice business. Good work for me, though. I'll keep that in mind. Magic arrows. If I find any, I'll let you know.
Thank you very much. And I will pass on the... Have a good day.
Of course. It is at this moment, Gilroy, that a child runs up along next to you. He goes, "Wow, mister, you're a real adventurer."
You're damn right.
What adventures you been on?
Oh, slaying orcs,
What?
killing men. Oh, I mean, saving the kingdom. Saving the kingdom.
Oh, great. And you, lady, you're a real adventurer.
Yep.
And he gives a tug on Gilroy's robe real quick, and he goes, "Wow, this is real nice."
I think you should check your pockets.
And with
Before
that,
the kid gets too
the kid sprints off north. The moment you say you should check your pockets, he's like, "Oh, he extends."
Oh my god!
Whoa!
That's suspicious.
Like a Bethesda bug. He makes his way out of there. And he begins running on north. However,
Silas knocks him prone.
emerging through the crowd, he bumps into the large belly of none other than Sibelius. Bumps right into him and lands on the ground with a thud. And Sibelius looks down at him with a little morsel. Return the gold. The kid looks up and goes, "Yes!" And runs on back to you, Gilroy. And he extends his hand with 10 gold coins out in it.
Alright, I will... okay, I'll take it.
Alright?
I won't pester him too much.
I'm gonna try and get the kid to run away in the other direction.
Sure, motion,
just
pat him along the
go
other way.
away.
Okay.
Scram.
Before you get kind of in a nice way, so he doesn't have to deal with Sibelius.
Sure.
After.
Yeah, he runs
Just
off along down this alleyway here. Thank you, mister. Makes his way out. Right past you, Leander and Erlon, you see this raggedy kid making his way down further into the alleyways and then disappears. And Sibelius kind of just walks on up into the middle of the group, which catches everyone's attention now that you're pretty much done at your stalls. You turn towards him. "Friends! Welcome to River's End!"
So good to see you, Sibelius.
"And you too! And you too, Gilroy. I already got 2 rooms."
Is that right?
"Oh yes.
Where might that be?
The Morning Sun Smile, of course. I too have a room there, and, well, when the time comes, you may need my help."
Well, from what I'm hearing, you might need our help.
"That's so. What are you hearing, Gilroy?"
Sounds like there's trouble in paradise. In that the Midnight Court. Well, you may have some competition.
"Yes. Foolish hothead has made his way into my town. And sometime soon we may take care of it, but perhaps there's bigger matters at hand for now. At least for you. You leave that to me for now."
I'm sure you can take care of it.
"So then you'll take the rooms. We'll be in contact."
I appreciate the gesture, Sibelius. Gesture, Sibelius. But,
Who, that guy?
yeah, as Leander looks past Sibelius at
the jester.
Sibelius' private jester. No,
I appreciate the jester.
That's a shirt and a half.
But I think we can handle our own board for now.
I'm sure you do. We'll see how that works out. But,
Oh my god.
you may find me to be, well, a valuable ally in your times of need, especially if you find yourselves in my backyard.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure we'll be in contact.
Oh, yes.
Sibelius.
Oh, yes.
Now,
Anything, catching your eyes in my delightful market? Perhaps a loan?
no.
Very good.
I don't need any money.
You're wiser than you look, Leander. Give you a pat on the shoulder and says, I will be seeing you soon.
Hopefully on good terms, Sibelius.
For now. For now. And with that, he marches on past you guys. It begins to make its way into some of these structures where it looks like a few men were waiting on some kind of meeting with him.
I spit in the dirt as he passes. What a nuisance.
Yes.
Does he have to follow us everywhere?
But he is powerful. And he seems to like us.
He does have a jester.
Hey, you like the show? Give me a tip. Thank you. I'm going home.
I think it's time for a drink.
I think we should let Bilberry know that he's here if he doesn't know already. That's Sibelius.
Ah, that's a good point. I guess that'll mean Bilberry has to lay low yet again.
Yeah.
So you guys make your way over towards the Morning Sun Smile.
Right.
Which is a luxurious tavern. As the sun begins to sink, the air cools, and the shadows of the buildings grow longer, covering the streets until torches in hand, or in sconces, right?
Sconces.
Sconces. Yeah, it's a weird way they spell it. Sconces. Along the streets become your primary light source under the smoky sky. Further down the hill, from the market, a single large and finely crafted wooden building stands out among the slums. The Morning Sun Smile, which shed a warm light from its many windows. Entering through the large front doors, you are greeted with a warm blast of air and the sudden noise of quite the crowd of chattering patrons. Before you, Arena seems to be berating Bilberry and the rest of the party. She's going, Bilberry, you didn't really put in that much work before you went off to go drinking with your friends. And Bilberry looks up and he goes, Arena, you really didn't do that much. The elf is coming. Don't you worry about it. Arena turns back towards you. He's like, well, whatever he says, right?
Well, how goes everyone's tasks?
Chantel at least seems to be making use of herself. I'm sure she'll be able to cover quite a bit of ground in this valley quickly, and then report back to us within a few days, hopefully. Zorn and Olerin got in some kind of tussle with the local town guard. They didn't take too kindly to a half-orc, so we'll see how well that goes over. They're wanted men now. That didn't take long. Bilberry claims he has some kind of secret meetup with this elf who knows the Jarl. And we'll see if that pans out all in all. What about you folks?
Well, Sibelius is in town. Bilberry?
Of course. And, Bilberry immediately stops drinking, slams down his mug, and goes, what? Oh, wait, no, I already knew that. That's fine. I'll hide under a table or something.
That was easy.
The market seems nice enough.
Yeah, I knew you'd like it. Good stuff down there. Not exactly good people, but good stuff.
A young boy attempted to rob me.
Oh,
Attaboy! I mean, no!
it's okay, Gilroy.
You've just been out of civilization too long to be ready for such instance.
Yes, I suppose.
Now, I know you lived at the college for quite some time.
As you guys are doing this real quick, you're naturally making your way to some empty bar seats, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, okay. Arena
No,
will
we're
join
blocking
you.
the door.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're just gonna have this conversation here.
Those annoying people.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll set you guys up there. Go ahead, man.
Did you ever actually live anywhere else, Gilroy?
I did, for a time. I lived with my parents, and they, well, I'd say medium. It was a fine life, but then a man came to my town, not quite River's End, not quite Lowton, somewhere in between, knocking on doors, asking for prodigies, promising young men and women. Well, he saw something in me, and that was the last I saw of, I guess, home. But the college was always quite busy. Lots of people coming and going. Students, teachers, mentors. But the idea of a bustling, moving settlement always really, gave me some hope I'd get out of the basement.
Right. I kind of motion to the barkeeper, I suppose.
Who turns towards you, and with an incredibly similar face to Sellian Bovin, he makes his way on over. An incredibly similar build. They have to be twins or something. And he looks up, setting down a big old flag and a veil. He goes, "How can I help you?"
An ale, please.
"Of course." "Any food?"
Yes.
"You just got some good mutton." He sets about giving you guys the some meals and some drink, and he goes, "Derridin Bovin's the name."
You look like someone I know.
"Now, who would that be?" "Zellian."
Cellian!
Yeah, close enough. "Zellian! Where'd you see Zellian?"
Well, we just got off the boat from Lowton.
"He's still in Lowton, is he? A sad sack of crap."
I think he's doing quite well for himself.
"If you say so."
Any relation?
"Absolutely relation. When our dad died, I got half the money. He got half the money. He said, let's invest in this place. It's down by Lowton. It's real nice and fancy. It was owned by an elf." He goes, "Well, guess what? He was probably right. This place is horrible." Look around, he goes, "The morning sun smile. How is that even a name?" It's drinking away.
If you do not like something, friend, why don't you just change it?
"Oh, the locals like it, but I really don't." Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Who are you folk?
Gilroy?
I am Leander Wren.
I am Oron of the Silverhorn.
Melee.
Nice to meet you. I think I got those names on a list here. He pulls out a ledger. He goes, "Yep, there's some rooms for you here. They're booked out for the month, so
You can
Here's
go
the-
ahead and release mine at least. I'll get my own room.
Alright." Ross is enough. "Would you like a refund on the other room?"
Yep.
He hands you 15 gold.
What kind of rooms are these?
Well, they're the luxury rooms.
Alright, don't twist my arm.
I'll book the same room. At least that I have
15
some-
gold.
At least now it's under my name. He's not buying it for me.
I
It's
don't know that
Oh
really
my
pans
No,
out,
it does.
really.
Because now I stole from him. I got my own room.
And
Okay.
embarrassed him, so...
He scribbles your name in real quick. He's like, "All paid for."
I do the same thing just because, like, where I come from, if somebody provides you shelter, you're, like, not, like, honor bound,
Right.
but you owe some sort of, and I want nothing to do with
Yeah, you
civilians.
almost feel like Sibelius had a plan for that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe they'll owe me something, especially with your culture and whatnot. But, okay, so a very similar deal where you get your refund and then buy yourself a room.
Yep.
Now,
My dignity intact.
Okay. Leander will be undignified if he takes this.
Please don't make me do this 2 more times.
I think, as much as I want to not have his name on the room, it might, just maybe, one of us should keep it.
Oh, I'm keeping it.
There you go.
Can I get a...
Gilroy, underline 3 times. Not annoying. Underline twice.
You're making lots of friends.
You chronicle all your patrons?
Only the ones that deal with civilians, yes. You don't want to mess up his orders.
I guess, could I get a refund on that?
God damn it! Yes! And then, everyone throw me a perception check as this is happening. You guys are enjoying your meal and having a good laugh for one of the first times in a while.
13.
Alright, the lords and ladies, or at least wealthy merchants below you, seem to have ordered a pig. A full pig.
17.
Actually, nothing for Gilroy. What did you get, Melee?
19.
Okay, so, there is a group of dwarves around you who seem to be negotiating some sort of contract, adventuring contract. Something about a wormling in the far north. But they're getting the fine details worked out, and the oldest of them is arguing over the wording about rations and supplies and taking the costs out and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Melee, there is an elf behind you. He's been alone at his table. He's been listening in, but you know those ears are so fake. That is not actually an elf.
I'm just gonna nudge Gilroy, like reach over to Gilroy and point him out.
Sure.
Oh, that's strange. What do you think his deal is?
That's Leander.
What?
Do you use...
He gets up and bolts, starts running as quick as he can out of here.
Bilberry!
What? He falls back in his chair, way too drunk to chase anyone.
Where's Arena?
He jumps out an open window and begins bolting away.
By the winds.
I think Leander's honestly gonna chase after him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's roll some athletics for anyone who wants to chase after him.
Yeah,
You are
good
dashing
athletics.
through the muddy streets, through the night.
Nope.
He's throwing a 12.
Throwing a 12? Yeah, I'm going into like
22.
hunter mode.
Okay.
Yeah, not the 13.
13, so you manage to maintain pace,
Yeah.
and you can see them as he's quick, he knows this area, he dashes into an alleyway. Leander manages to get up in front of you, and yeah, he seems to just know the area too well. He gets up on top of some low rooftop huts, and I need you guys to make an acrobatics check as he begins jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
Can I drink a potion of Cat's Grace?
Sure.
Okay.
Nice.
So while I'm running. So what is that? Gives me,
Plus
like-
4?
How far away is... I mean, can I, see this from the tavern?
Now they are outside of sight.
'Cause I
As
certainly
of the
did not.
athletics check, they are outside of sight of the
Gilroy
tavern.
wasn't ready for the foot chase.
No.
I also
13?
got a 13.
Okay, it's actually better than what he got. So you guys are right behind him as he lands on the ground with a splash in a muddy puddle. He begins dashing on towards the docks and knocking over barrels and crates and whatnot. I need a final athletics check as you guys chase him down. Ooh,
21.
a 22.
25.
Wow! Erlon,
Gets a good. He gets a straightaway, and
Oh,
Erlon
he
just
does.
is
Rolled a
able
19, so...
he does. He gets a straightaway and he nearly manages to evade you. turns into what seems to be a large sewer pipe with a large grate in front of it. Erwan, you are right behind him as he takes the grate, slams it shut, and whispers some words. And then, as you could literally have grabbed him through the grate, but in order to push it open, you go for that, and it is sealed, like it is completely just like glued into this thing. It would no longer open no matter how much force you put into it, like it had been soldered onto the outer edge of this pipe. And the kid runs on into the darkness. Or not so much a kid, actually. Notably, now that a lot of his makeup and his ears had fallen off, much of his outfit he ditched in order to get a little more speed. That was Merrick Orland. That was the guy that was on the boat.
Gotcha.
Weird.
And yeah, notably, he whispered some sort of arcane words before making his way in there. He was able to open and close it. You could hear it happen, and pops right as he closed it, whispered, and then dashed away. You were right on top of him, but couldn't quite get that one.
I stomp on the grain like, goddamn trickery!
Yeah, I think Leander does much the same,
Yeah.
like, complaining about the arcane, like, whatever devilry this is.
I'll cut us back on over to the tavern. As presumably, you guys make your way back.
And I guess me and Erlon kind of saunter back.
Yeah. And take your seats back with the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Is that a real dragon head?
Why, yes it is.
Oh, over here.
Black dragon?
Black dragon indeed, and a grown one at that.
Yeah, that's quite the trophy.
He was from Zyada. Great Winged Terror, they called him.
Great Winged Terror.
Yeah, well,
Can I roll history?
sure.
Yeah, 13.
There's been a few dragons in
Yeah.
Zyada and that area. It's just a black dragon. But he goes on about the story of how his putrid breath was known across the high seas for sneaking up on ships in the night and breathing down on them and just melting away the crew, stealing all their gold and making his way out.
Who took him down?
So much braver than I. I actually paid a lot of gold for the head.
Can imagine.
And it's about that time, as you guys are having your drinks and whatnot, that Leander and Erlon in a huff and puff make their way on behind you and take their seats again.
You guys get him?
It was Merrick. I never liked that man from the start. I knew there was something wrong with him. Why would he dress like an elf?
Guess just to make sure that we didn't notice him at first.
Goddamn coward.
Yeah.
Gilroy, that definitely stands out to you, since you knew he was lying about some things in his past.
Yeah, there's much more than that, man, that meets the eye. How did he escape you guys?
He locked one of the grates. Magically. I couldn't pry it open. And I mean, come on.
Interesting. I could potentially
We'll check it out in the
get it
morning.
open. Alright.
I bet he's with Sevelius.
Yeah.
Seems like everybody is these days.
It is his backyard, as he put it.
I suppose as we're like walking back to the bar, some of this is happening. Like some of this conversation's going on. Perhaps one of the dwarves. I bump into him or something.
Sure.
I overheard you talking about a worm? Dragon?
Yeah, you might have, and it's none of your business. That's our kill.
Oh, well, I suppose good luck to you then.
Yeah. You're looking to make your own contracts. Maybe the Hunters Guild will open again soon.
Yeah, that'd be suppose that'd be a good thing.
Why'd it close down?
Yeah.
Well, the same reason everything closed down around here. There's too much trouble. Countryside full of bandits and poison in the wine. Huh.
Suppose they already know about the wine then.
Poison in the wine?
It's a Vorkin poisoned.
Just so happens that You know
A
about
little
the
ahead of us.
Yeah, somehow.
you know about the True Sarn, right?
Mhm.
They're a group of people who no longer have lords. There's quite a few small vassals throughout the countryside, but what ends up happening is you feed them the poisoned wine, and suddenly no taxes to pay that year.
Yeah, that's not all.
Yeah.
Orcs come down the mountains.
Too true. Lucky for me, I'm only here till it warms up a little. Back to Carrion Morn.
That's quite the journey.
It is, but quick my boat.
Fair enough.
It's only a matter of time before it reaches you, too.
Well, I better get home soon then. No! A donkey costs 25 gold on average. And he begins debating once again over the price of his journey and the rest of his compatriots and if they're going to make it out alive in the end.
How is this place held together with virtually no leadership?
I think that's the problem.
Just a vacuum.
At least in the civilized world, it is.
Notably, you see, at this point, they were already actually in position, but two large-looking men who look vaguely familiar. They definitely appear to be the bodyguards of Sibelius, who you've seen a few times. They're huge. They are notably larger than most other men, carry long swords in one hand and a big buckler in the other hand, with shining half-plate, essentially, with chain interlaced in between. They make their way in and immediately make their way off to this room over to the far left, past some green curtains, where they stand watch immediately, suggesting that Sibelius lives in that room right there.
Right.
Darren and Bovin, serving another drink for you guys as you make it back and go, what was that all about?
Us running away?
And that other guy. He didn't even order anything all night, so I'm glad to see him gone, but...
I look back at the group, kind of like, should I tell this guy something, or...
Seems like just a pest, honestly.
Street scum.
Yeah.
We'll find more than enough for that.
But it's taken care of. And, So Arena is...
Arena is still staying with Zorn and Bilberry and Ulrin, making sure that they don't get too drunk, as well as Ulrich. Or actually, no, she kind of joined you to a degree. Took a seat for a drink for a moment, though she definitely made it known that her intent was to break off against you.
Yeah. All right.
She turns towards you as well with a... Didn't quite catch him, huh?
Nope.
Better luck next time.
Maybe Torm. I'll think on it tonight.
You do that, Leander. I think I'm going to retire. I still got a bad ache in my back since the damn bastard shoved the knife in it.
That was rough. It was a close one for me as well, if you didn't see.
Glad to see us all pull through.
Yes.
You have a good night, Leander. And then she kind of pushes him aside and looks to the rest of the group. He's like, good night, folks. I'll see you soon. She makes her way down to one of these smaller bedrooms down here.
Right. Where would our bedrooms be? To the left, past
Yes,
Sibelius's?
these guys down that way.
Right. Those nice rooms.
Yeah, they're super nice. There's only 3 though.
So someone's bunking.
Not necessary.
I trust you all.
You won't
I don't-
stab me in your sleep.
I don't see the problem.
It doesn't bother you at all, just sleeping in.
Yeah, that's
think-
true.
We're not in the same bed. There's 2 beds in that room.
It doesn't.
I have to assume we're in the hallway.
You guys make your way over there?
Oh, well, if we were having that conversation,
Well,
we
it's
must
right
be...
before that. You guys definitely give that a look over, seeing as they're your rooms and the Bovin that owns this
You let us
tavern.
know.
Yeah, and he'll after he gives you the keys, gives you a quick look in there. He goes, "Is that suitable?" And gives you, "Do you need another pillow or anything like that?" But as you guys are observing these and getting a good look at what has been given to you, you hear from out back a great bellowing cry. "Rolling don't want to kill no one."
Erlon, it's your friend.
Friend is a strong word, but
Let's buy him a drink.
I
Oh,
better
shoot.
make sure he doesn't cause anybody harm.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
So you rush on out
I feel partially responsible for
past
not taking his life.
past the stables, Erlon. You rush on out and make your way in this small kind of courtyard here with a well and whatnot. You see that Frolthane has got himself quite surrounded by local guard who have not taken very kindly to his disposition in particular. And Martin is kind of egging him on, like, "Frolthane, get those guys." And Frolthane is like, "Frolthane don't wanna.
Martin, you bastard, what are you doing?
I'm protecting myself."
By intimidating the town guard?
The town guard look towards you and they're like, "What's it to you?"
Well, this happens to be an acquaintance of mine.
"Really?"
Yeah. He wouldn't do anybody harm unless it was deserved.
"Maybe he deserves some harm. A freak.
Excuse me?
He's a freak. Half-ogre. Abomination."
I'm a half-elf, does that make me a freak?
"In some places, you ever go too far south?"
I've only known the north.
I think hearing the he's a freak stuff, I think Leander makes his way out. I don't know if he
Sure, this conflict is...
And I kind of hang at the door.
Yeah, the two humans sit back. Well, they're half.
The half-elf and the half-orc go and take on
Defend
the
themselves,
xenomorphs.
yeah.
Together we're the three halves.
And they take a step towards Frolthane, who unveils his greatsword, but takes a step back because he really, legitimately seems to be reluctant to get in a fight with these people. And Martin goes, "Frolthane, get them!" And Frolthane goes, "No arena, not fair."
Martin, if you don't stop, I'm gonna knock all your teeth out and then make you count them.
Another intimidation roll.
Don't be crying this time.
Yeah, don't cry this time. Alright. Oh my... Why would you say that?
Okay.
Natural.
You may take inspiration on that because it's a good line.
Plus, I've pounded his champion into the ground once
That's
before.
true. You have
so-
good reason here.
9.
A 9?
I'm probably pretty heated about the half statement.
It's true, but Martin does give you his attention at least. And I ain't getting my teeth knocked in. He steps up in front of everyone and he goes, "Gentlemen, calm down. Calm down, please. I got gold." And the men are like, "All the more reason to kill you." Are you guys stepping out there?
Can I enlarge Leander?
So Gilroy, you make your way to the stables.
I'm
Why
out
not
there
Frol?
too.
Okay, Bailey, you make your way out as well. And as
I'm
you guys...
not watching it.
Or no, actually, can I shrink the lead
the lead
guard?
What do I have to roll here?
Con. Yeah, con.
Yes, you can.
All right.
So Gilroy, you lean up on the stable and shrink down the lead guard to tiny size as he approaches Martin. But he looks up and he's like, "What?"
I'll move up to Frolthane and I kind of just I'm kind of talking him down a little bit. Like, no,
Yeah.
it'll be all right, Frolthane.
He's breathing heavy. He's definitely the most stressed out person
Oh, yeah.
here. Because obviously these men don't give a shit about Martin. They want to kill Frolthane just because he is who he is.
Yeah.
Roll me a persuasion check to see if you can chill him out.
I'm good at those. Man. 23.
Yes. Okay. So you guide his greatsword hand down, and he's much more disarmed at the moment. He goes, "Them stupid."
I couldn't agree more, Frolthane. But doesn't mean I know It's them being. It's not you, Frolthane. Don't worry.
And one of the crossbow men in the back points his crossbow at you, Gilroy, and he goes, "That one's using magics."
I think.
And,
How many of us are there?
Well,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's
6 of us.
6 of you. Well, Martin's. He doesn't have a weapon or armor on him.
Right.
Frolthane counts as 2.
I think I'll just say, we mean no trouble. We won't bother you anymore. And then I pull out a piece of rope and I cut it off at like 8 feet.
Okay.
And it sort of lay it out here at the edge of the. Like, this probably looks really weird to them. Probably to all
What
of
the hell are you doing?
and lay it out at the sort of corner, in this courtyard corner.
Yep.
And it stands up straight. And then I look to all of you and say, up the rope.
It's just
Please.
into the sky,
Yes.
seemingly into nothing.
Trust me. Come on.
That crossbowman, after seeing this magic, is gonna shoot an arrow or
Okay.
a bolt at you. He's gonna miss. It sinks into the wooden frame
No.
right next to you.
Bailey, come on, give it a go.
Climb the rope.
I'm not climbing the rope. I am going to, who shot the arrow? Which
This one back.
All right, I'm climbing the rope.
You climb the rope. I'm not going to.
Not trusting a
you're
random
climbing
rope.
Yeah, I'm climbing it.
I just don't
Anything
run.
happen, or you just
When
on
he gets
top
to
of
the
the
top,
rope
he
now?
disappears.
Oh. Okay, then
Right?
I'll follow him.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
I just wasn't gonna be the first one.
No, fair enough. Okay, Melee, you climb on up there. Leander and Erlon, easy enough. It has knots in it, right? Like, it makes it easy on you.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
athletics check to get in there.
No.
I'm not going up.
Frolthane grabs Martin. You're not going?
No, I've said ever since I fought Frolthane that I'm kind of, one of my things is I want to free him and kind of protect him because people like this are taking advantage of it.
Oh, yes.
So
Well,
I
Frolthane
cannot
grabs
stand.
Martin by the back of his shirt and lifts him and begins to climb on up, and he looks down at you, Erlon, and he goes, "Don't fight. Not a good fight." And continues on climbing, and disappears in the air, which kind of leaves
Erlon.
Erlon and Leander.
I kind of just give a look at Erlon, just like,
These guys are backing up anyway.
yeah.
They shot a few arrows and bolts in Gilroy and Melee's direction, but now, especially with the shrunk one, they're just like, You're freaks, all of you. We got our eyes on you."
I got my eyes on you too. I'm gonna commit all your faces to memory.
The leader looks, "Let's get out of here." They run off, leaving you guys in this courtyard with a rope, an erect rope.
And we can see down to, like, from inside.
Yeah, from the
this,
portal. Yeah, there's a hole.
Yeah, there's a window.
I give it a tug on the rope, not
Seems
looking up.
sturdy.
This is.
All
Poke
clear.
my head out.
Just Gilroy's head in the air.
Gilroy, what is this?
Oh,
Super cool.
just something I had up my sleeve. I figured I could try and defuse the situation once they saw us disappear. They might not,
Shoot at us?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's that go to?
Yeah,
What's it
what
like in
exactly
there?
is it in there?
Yeah, I think it's,
I swear, if it's ooze, or
it is not ooze, I promise you,
Goes up into
as
the
I'm
sea.
sticking my head out the bottom of this hole. No, it's, well, it basically is sort of like a void with, like, stars, in the distance.
It's like an astral space.
Yeah, basically, but you can feel the walls, and then there's, like, a window to, the outside that you can see.
Material,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you can't pass through that portion, but you can pass through a portion of the floor. And
You
see
just
that.
make your way on up in there.
as I say, I'll give it a try. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's cramped once everybody is at max capacity.
Especially with Frolthane, who is
Yeah.
hunched over in this space, but he's just looking about with wide eyes and looks down at you, Gilroy, and he goes, "Ooh, magics."
Pretty cool, right?
And Martin is breathing heavy. He's like, "What the hell is this?"
Well, welcome to my. I haven't named it yet. I just go in here sometimes. I want some peace and quiet. But it looks like the coast is clear, so if you would kindly.
Oh. Are you sure? Those guys, they were meaning to kill us, right? Like, you poke your head out of this thing?
Oh, yeah.
We fought beasts and ogres. I'm not scared by.
Town guard.
Yeah.
Scum.
I'm going back to the bar.
Yeah.
It's cramped in there. I got the gist.
You slide on down and
That's a
re-enter
neat trick, Gilroy.
the tavern, and you guys all
You gotta get some furniture in there.
I'm impressed with your quick thinking.
take your seats once again, and Martin and Frolthane, upon you leaving that astral space, Martin brushes himself off, and Frolthane stands up straight and looks around triumphantly with his hands on his hips, and Martin goes, "The fight's in a few days, Erlon. We'll see you then."
You will.
Good.
So we're at the bar.
Yeah, you take your seats once again at the bar.
Well, that has been a long day. I suppose I have some stuff to think on. What about you guys?
I told them about how like the noble spaces were empty.
Yes.
We heard that. So some of the markets up in the higher districts seem to be closed with everybody fleeing, but nobody said where they fled to.
True.
And we are on the edge of the ocean,
Yeah.
so
I have to think the further away from Vorkin, the better, but.
but the only way is towards him essentially from here, correct?
Bovin,
You're right.
overhearing, goes, "Well, it's custom of nobility around here to have a boat of their own. You can hardly be called a noble if you don't have a seaworthy vessel. So, I imagine a lot of them took to sea. Might be trying to make it out there, or maybe they got investments in Faringwell or something like that."
We may have to hire another boat.
Perhaps the most troubling thing is where the Jarl went off to.
Well, no one's heard from him in some time, and, well, that's not unusual. He's not much of a leader, but he usually gets some message every month about new taxes or something along the line. Speaking of which, Venra wine costs like 20 gold more now than it used to per shipment.
Yeah, I know. It was really expensive.
There. There's a tax on it now. Wonder. Huh. Well, anyway, you folks, and the bar is beginning to, through the night, the stars are out, it's gotten cold, beginning to empty, as well as most of the common room. Bilberry, Zorn, Olerin, Ulrich, Arena have already made their way to their small spaces where they're going to be sleeping, and otherwise it's mostly just you guys and Bovin.
I think I'll retire.
Yeah.
All
Much
right,
the same.
Yeah.
More work to do in the morning.
Till the morning. You guys make your way to your beds and go off to a nice, comfortable rest. Comfortable, luxurious, and prepaid, depending on how you look at it. Thanks so much for joining us for episode 9, everyone. That was wicked fun. Awesome time. I hope that you really enjoyed this episode. TJ, take care of all the plugs for me.
Yeah, sure thing. As I said at the break, we are we're a Twitch affiliate. So you can subscribe, you can also cheer. If you're into this show, if you like what we're doing, it means a lot to us and it helps us on our way to partner, which is definitely a goal of ours at some point in the future. But this is shot here at our comic and game shop, the Freakopolis Geekery in Whitehall, New York. We're open 5 days a week where you can find Ian and I behind the counter, slinging comics, talking games, DMing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you're in the sort of northeast area, you want to come through, I'd love to meet you and I don't know, talk games and stuff.
Yeah.
You can also find us all over the internet on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Freakopolis.com. If you search Freakopolis, we're there, posting stuff and telling you what's good at Freakopolis.
Yep. What about Joined by Gaming?
We're Joined by Gaming. We promote positivity in the gaming community. We also raise money for a local children's hospital. You can find us on Instagram or Facebook. It's Joined by Gaming.
Joined by Gaming, Facebook or Instagram, you got it. Should be the only Freakopolises and Joined by Gamings out there as far as we know. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope
Thanks to Dad and Cameron.
Our crew, our incredible crew.
Yeah.
Who had just as good a time with this episode as you did, I'm sure. It couldn't be done without them. They put in as much work as any of us, and it is massively appreciated. Now, hope you enjoyed episode 9. Can't wait, episode 10 coming up. That's crazy. That'll be a big deal. And we'll see you next Sunday, guys. Have a good night.